We're trying to save money at the same time live a good life or relatively good life. Welcome back to Miss Ming's channel. This is Miss Ming. I'm a PhD candidate in the field of education. I'm also a small YouTuber who started my channel about 9 to 10 months ago. In this channel, I do vlog videos, lifestyle videos, makeup videos, and planning videos, study tip videos, and everything I'm passionate to create a happy, healthy, beautiful lifestyle. If this content interests you, make sure you subscribe to this channel. And also, as a small YouTuber, it is my goal to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So your support will mean the world to me, knowing that someone in this world is actually watching. I'm not just like a crazy person talking to my camera with no audience. Or my audience is falling asleep. Actually, as a teacher, it's like one thing I'm like most stressed about when I teach is that I want to make sure that my content is educational and interesting so that my students are not falling into sleep. So if you're my student, please comment down below you're not falling into sleep in my class. Alright, let's get started. This video is part of the Back to School series where I share a lot of study tips and lifestyle hacks to make our college life, school life a little bit easier. Also, after this video, check out my other back to school videos and let me know if you think they're helpful to you or motivational. In this video, I want to talk about budgeting. If you're a student, you will know what I'm talking about. You may not make a lot of money working part-time or working as an intern somewhere. We're trying to save money at the same time live a good life or relatively good life. But if you're not a student, I hope these tips are also helpful to you in terms of how to budget and to have financial security, if you know what I mean. Let's get started. So the first tip in terms of budgeting is to set certain percentage of your income on the side, put it into your investment or saving account. This tip's like, I think everybody talk about this tip, but there's never a great percentage in terms of how much you should save every single month because everybody makes different money and the living expenses are different. But generally speaking, saving about 10 to 30% per month is probably good. If you make less money, maybe 10% is okay because you need to rely on the money you make to make a living, versus if you make a little bit more spare money, you can put more percentage of your income into the savings. But this tip is so important. Always save money. And personally, I have a saving account with Discover. Oh, my current annual interest rate is 1.98%. That is a very high interest rate, right? So basically for the amount of money you put in your bank, you actually get a lot of interest per month. And basically your money is making money itself. Of course, if you are a student like me, you don't have a lot of savings. These money could be some like coffee money. But generally speaking, if you keep this habit when you have a full-time job, you will see a huge difference every month when you get that interest. Of course, in the future, if you make more money, you should put money not only in your saving account, but also in your investment account. But as a student, or if you have a part-time job, you're just starting your career, having that saving account is going to help you in the future. The second tip is to try to avoid any debt. Every time you spend something, you have to consider the ratio between cost and reward. Buying a car could be a great investment if buying a car will allow you more mobility in the city, and which in turn give you more job opportunities. If you're a student, you may be on student loans, but try to have as little loan as possible. I had a car loan like 4 years ago, but I paid it up within a year because the car loan itself came with an interest. So the longer loan you have, the more interest you're paying for your loan. So I try to pay it up as fast as possible. And I remember that was a year I really didn't travel. I only went to one conference and my friend actually bought me the ticket and the hotel was kind of cheap. So It was a year I was living on a very tight budget. I didn't buy any makeup. I was really saving up to pay up my car loan, and it's great for my credit score. Which reminds me to remind you, I know credit card is kind of like an evil thing. You may overspend, but having a credit card is going to be helpful in terms of your credit score, because later if you want to buy a house or if you want to rent an apartment, a lot of times they look at your credit score. If you don't have a credit card until you're like 25, you're wasting like 5 years of credit card life that you could be saving your points. So I have a credit score which is pretty good. It's not exceptional because of my age. Yay, I'm not that old. But the reason why I have that car loan is also to increase my credit score so that I have a great credit score standing in the future. If I want to buy a house, I have the credit score. So have a credit card is going to help, and have a car loan is going to help, but knowing those are going to help doesn't mean that you have to be in debt. So to me, I never spend for more than $1,000 in my credit card, and it's below my income. So basically every month I make sure I pay my credit card bill like immediately when I get the bill, and I don't have any debt in my life. When I was an undergrad, I had a scholarship. Now I am a PhD student. I have fellowship. The only tuition I got was when I was a master's student. I borrowed money from my mom, and my husband paid it up. So I don't have any student loan either, but I understand not everybody is as lucky as me who can borrow money from their parents. If you have a student loan, that is okay, but try not to have credit card debt. Try not to use your student loan for something else. Only use it for your tuition, and work as much as possible as part-time so that you can actually afford yourself in terms of your living expenses. Generally speaking, the tip number 2 is try not to be in debt. Never have a credit card debt. It's never worth it. Student loan is okay because it's investment on yourself, but try to only use it for your tuition but not your other living expenses. Try to work as much as possible during the school breaks. I know you're gonna sacrifice the time you spend with your family or friends, but once you're older, you're gonna be thankful for not having that much loan as your burden. Third tip is to budget. Everybody is talking about budgeting, and personally, my husband listened to Dave Ramsey. If you're also a listener or a viewer on his channel, let me know. He also has a book, he has a podcast, I think he has people working for him. His language is a little bit aggressive, to be honest. Personally, I listen to a lot of his phone calls, like people like, I've been budgeting, but for some reason we make this much money at the end, like we don't see any money going to a saving account. If you decided to set aside certain money to your saving account, this money are not touchable unless it's a medical emergency. If you set aside 10% of your income, budgeting doesn't mean that you're spending those 90% of your income every single month. It's not what budgeting is about. Budgeting basically means that you're calculating the necessary expense in your daily lives. Alright, so now I want to show you my own budget when I was a single, full-time graduate student while working part-time in my college. And of course, my budget has changed after I moved in with my husband. So right now, I no longer pay rent. That's why I can afford a lot of items to review on my channel. First, my monthly budget includes my rent, which was $500. I lived with 3 other roommates. It's just not worth it when you live by yourself and pay a huge amount of rent. It's always great to have roommates to hang out with. I remember one of my roommates was turning into 21 and she had a huge party. I didn't want to be a party killer, but I'm way older than them, so I just went to the library. It's not a big deal. Because I'm sharing the apartment with 3 other roommates, my monthly utility was $40. I have to drive between 2 campuses when teaching, so I basically spend $10 per week on my gas, which is okay because I drive a very small car, so my gas bill is not great either. The next thing is my phone plan, which I actually pay a lot because I do use a lot of data and I can't live without my phone, so I pay $60 per month on my phone. Now, when it comes to grocery, let's look at my weekly grocery shopping list to see my budget. First, I spent $10 on fruit and $10 on veggies, $4 on milk because I do buy the organic ones, $5 on snacks and $10 on drinks. Of course, I can't live without snacks. About $10 on meat, sometimes more, sometimes less. I don't eat a lot of meat, but I do buy eggs sometimes. And then I also spent $10 on household items and $10 on toiletry. Just to remind you, this shopping list is based on a single person. Now that I'm living with my husband, everything just doubled. But regardless how many people there are in your household, it's always good to have a weekly grocery shopping list, to create a weekly grocery budget, and also have a specific budget that you want to spend on each category. You may have to spend more money on laundry detergent if you're a mom, or if you're a bodybuilder, you may spend more money on meat and protein. So everyone's budget may look differently. And also the living expenses in San Antonio is not high. Your budget may look very differently if you live in another city such as New York or Los Angeles. A month usually contains 4 weeks, so my monthly budget on grocery is usually about $300. Sometimes it's a little bit more, sometimes it's a little bit less. The next one is beauty and entertainment. Of course, as a girl, I need to buy beauty products, I need to take care of my skin, and also sometimes I want to eat out and treat my friends. So my monthly budget for beauty and entertainment before was about $60 to $100, which is basically very okay. If you want to go out more with your friends, you may spend less on your skincare and makeup, and vice versa. So I actually used a lot of drugstore products before I got married, and now that I don't have to pay rent, I can spend more money on makeup and skincare. With rent and utility out of the way, now I have more money focusing on my YouTube channel. I can review different products, I can go review food and all the other great stuff. So as you can see, in total I spend about $1,000 to $1,100 per month. So my monthly savings equals to my monthly income minus my monthly expenses. So basically it is $500 per month. Yes, as a graduate student, I do only make $1,600 per month, but that is okay because I only work 20 hours per week. To be honest, I don't save every single month because I am a sucker of Black Friday sales, and also during summer or as an academia, sometimes I do travel for academic conferences and the school budget really doesn't cover everything. So usually I save about 10 months per year. So $500 times 10 equals $5,000, and that is my annual saving. And this is my 5th year of graduate school, so I already have 4 years. All of my savings went to my Discover saving account. I do make an interest monthly, and make sure when you report to tax, you have to report that as your income as well. So in the future, I plan to use this money for investment to generate more income. Generally speaking, you shouldn't pay a lot of money on rent. You only need a place to sleep. So try not to eat out regularly. So every time we hear about like eating out, we automatically think that we're going to this fancy restaurant, having a date night or things like that. It doesn't mean that. So think about how much money you spend on school cafeteria. How much money you spend on Starbucks coffee, right? So these things are basically hard to control because you're in school, suddenly you feel hungry and you just have to grab a bite. You're in school, you're so sleepy, you just have to have a coffee and everything. So that's why planning comes in handy. That's why we do meal prep. That's why we buy a coffee maker and brew coffee ourselves and take a cup to school. That's why we buy snacks from Costco, put them into individual package and then bring them into school. Avoid the money you spend on vending machine, Starbucks coffee, which I'm guilty of all the time. Like, that's the thing. And sometimes I would just make a coffee and then I would just run out of the house and then realize the coffee is not with me, and then I wasted my coffee at home and then I still have to get a Starbucks at school. But yeah, I hope this whole tip thing don't backfire me. Like, I try to do the best as I could, but sometimes, like, you know, I'm not always on top of the things. Try to avoid eating at school subway. Try to avoid eating at the Chick-fil-A. I know we have Chili's, Chick-fil-A, we have like an Asian sushi thing at school. If you look at the sushi thing, it's $10. $10 freaking dollars on a school lunch. That's not acceptable, right? If you're just meal prepping, if you just make some homemade sushi, don't use raw meat though. You know, food safety always most important thing. But if you just meal prep, you will be surprised that a school lunch that tastes equally good is only going to cost you $3. $3. So 3 versus 8 to 10. If you try to calculate how much money you spend at school, you would think that college is a hole that's just like sucking all your energies and monies out of you. College should be a good place for friendship, knowledge, fellowship, support, you know, all this goody stuff. So try to avoid spending so much money on campus over these small things and try to meal prep. The next tip is usually for girls. I know, like, if we look online on social media, every YouTuber do their nails. Somewhere they have really pretty nails, some of them have really pretty tattoos, and they do manicure, pedicure, and then they will go to do facials, which I do once in a while because I have acne prone skin. But generally speaking, manicure and pedicure are not great for you. Like, people, I think it's a social media thing. They think manicure and pedicure is a way to treat yourself, is a way to take care of yourself, which to some extent it is, because there's a stage of exfoliation. They're exfoliating your dead skin from your hands and stuff. But you know, the UV light causes skin cancer, right? So if you're doing the gel manicure and pedicure, having that UV light on top of your skin every week is not great for you. And let's say if you're doing regular nail polish, you know there are a lot of chemicals in there, right? But I didn't do my nails this time, but sometimes I would buy the nail polish and will just do the nail polish by myself. You know, with like $60, you could buy yourself a lot of different colors in terms of nail polishes, right? So you don't need to go to manicure and pedicure every 2 weeks. It's just a waste of money. I do it like usually during Christmas season or for my wedding day, or like if I'm going to travel somewhere, I want to look great for a special event. I do them, but usually I try to limit the times of doing manicure and pedicure to about like maybe 3. This year I did it once. And it's already August. But I think I'm planning to do it again, maybe somewhere in fall, winter. So I try to limit the time that I do manicure and pedicure outside in the salon for like 3 to 4 times. And usually I just polish like my nails by myself, or just let it be like, don't let like social media, like those pictures, to influence how you feel about yourself. Just because you don't have manicured nails doesn't mean that you're less of a social influencer. Yeah, so try to avoid that. It's really a tip for a girl. The next tip is to differentiate things between what you need and what you want. There's things that we need and things that we want. For example, you don't need new clothes. You want new clothes. But if you're going swimming, if you don't have a swimming suit, then you need a swimming suit. It's not what you want. I think it goes back to when I was about 4. I remember my grandpa took me to the mall. We were just shopping around, window shopping around, and then we always ended our shopping trip with the ice cream. We usually don't buy much, but I remember there was this Disney watch that I really loved. It was so pretty, so pretty. And I was looking at the watch, and it wasn't that expensive. I know, I was 4, and I looked at the price. I knew we could afford it, so I asked my grandpa, Grandpa, I really like that watch. I think it's not super expensive. And my grandpa asked me a question back. She was like, okay, but how about the watch you have? Do you like it? And that's when I realized, oh, I actually love my watch. I had a Minnie Mouse watch. I really loved it. Like, yeah, I do have one. I do love it. So my grandpa asked me, like, is it functioning? So basically, what I learned from this whole conversation was that there are always going to be things that interest you. There's always going to be things that you want, but whether you really need it, you always have to ask yourself certain questions. First, do you have one already? Second, is the one that you have malfunctioning? Third, do you not like it no more? You could always give it to your like cousins or anyone else who could enjoy it. Versus if you still love it, why do you need 2 watches? So that conversation, which happened at 4, I'm so grateful for my grandpa, really influenced how I view money and shopping. I know I have this makeup obsession, I buy a lot of makeup, but I always ask myself, like, do I have something similar? Is the one that I have similar like malfunctioning? Maybe it expired? If I already have a Fitbit, like why do I need to upgrade it? Maybe the new one has better functions, but again, like do I really need the functions? But again, it doesn't mean that if this is something you want, it doesn't mean that you can't buy it anymore. It's just making you have that second thought to question yourself, do you really need to buy it? For example, usually like after I do something really great, I want to buy something for myself to reward myself. In that case, I always buy something that I want. Or if my husband is giving me a present, I always ask him to buy me something that I really want, but I was too cheap to buy it myself. Once in a while, it doesn't hurt to splurge on something that really makes you happy as a reward system. If you did really great on your job, if you did really good in your school and you purchase it like once in a while, but just don't make it a habit. Just buy yourself a birthday present, buy yourself a Christmas present, and that's it. You don't need to buy yourself a present every single week, if you know what I mean. Alright, so the next tip is, I know we're a student, we're trying to save money, we're trying to live on a budget, we're like trying to not to splurge and blah 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 blah, but also it's also important to enjoy your life. So think about me, for example. I've been a student in my entire life. Of course, I work part-time at school. Your school years are also the years in your life. Do not go into your school with a mindset that after this 4 years, I'm gonna live a life that's like super different. Once I get my degree, my life is gonna significantly change. You're gonna be surprised how hard it is to find a job and how hard it is to find a well-paid job, even with a degree like a Ph.D. So try to enjoy the process and try to enjoy your journey as a student in college, graduate school. I know we're a student, we don't make a lot of money, we have to balance between work and our student life. We try to have a good academic studying at the same time and try to hustle around. So we're trying to save money, we're living on a budget. So this is the tip, like how I got all of this stuff. I'm not a minimalist, I love my stuff. So I know it's important to live on a budget, but it's also important to remember that our school years are also years in our lives that we need to enjoy. Try to buy things from the outlet store when things are on sale. I never buy anything that's not on sale, regardless how much I love them. Because I know at the end, they're going to be on sale. But take this advice in your full discretion, because what if the sizes that you like are gonna be gone? Like especially with shoes, I wear 6 to 6.5. Sometimes if I really like a pair of shoes, I do buy them, especially when it comes to sneakers and sports shoes, because I know like my size, there are a lot of teenagers in my size, so I may lose my favorite pair like later when the shoes are on sale. But generally speaking, when it comes to fashion items, they're always gonna be on sale. So I buy all of my clothes in the outlet mall or online store in China from the factory. Try not to buy anything full price, it's just such a ripoff. Another thing is like if you love Bath & Body Works, if you love their candles, they also have their annual sale. Make sure you wait for that. Another thing is, to me, I don't care if I wear clothes that other people have worn before. So I told everyone around me who's somewhat in my size, I told them I would take any clothes that you feel like you don't need anymore. And my mother-in-law gave me all of her clothes and shoes, and my friends from my yoga studio gave me her, Debbie, if you're watching, I meant you. She gave me her old clothes when she was working. She already retired. So I got a lot of free stuff. So that is a good thing to say, like you can buy things from your roommate. I know some people, they care, oh, if somebody wore this before, blah 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 blah, and all my fancy clothes are from some other people. So try to only go to the outlet mall and try to ask people like you could recycle the clothes that they don't like. And also another great tip is that I only buy my makeup items during their Sephora sale. If you see me, like a lot of times when new things are out, a lot of YouTubers just buy them because they have the budget. I don't make any money out of YouTube simply because I don't have enough watch time and subscribers. I don't get to monetize my channel, so I just wait until it's 20% off. Yeah. To keep my status, a lot of my friends are helping me out. Like they use my membership to purchase on Sephora, and I will tell them if you want anything, I could just use the points, you know, like as a little sample. And usually, yeah, as a thank you for like keeping my status, I guess. So there is that, and also I shop a lot during Black Friday. I usually buy all of the Christmas presents during Black Friday. I don't shop when I need something. I shop when I know that in the future I will need something, which sometimes backfire because in the future I realize I actually don't need it. But you can always like give it out to someone, like your friend, as a present if you never touched it. Yeah. Okay, so I hope this video is helpful to you. If it is, please give this video a thumbs up. And I'm also thinking about doing another episode in this series in terms of time management. If you are interested in watching that, please comment down below. Let me know so that I know that people are actually watching this. So yeah, before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It really means the world to me. Namaste. And also check out my other videos on my channel for the back to school series or other either fun entertaining videos, travel vlogs, or any lifestyle hacks and tips videos. I know some early videos of mine aren't that good, but you have to start somewhere, right? Alright, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!